79 million Americans are walking around right now with an infection that can cause cervical cancer. But researchers at the Stevenson Cancer Center had developed a compound they believe can target the virus and stop cervical cancer dead in its tracks. Now, with more than $2 million in federal funding, they're launching a first in-human clinical trial. They know that when HPV infects cells, those cells start looking abnormal. Not all of the abnormal cells become cancer, but some do. That's why abnormal cells of the cervix are currently eliminated through surgery. Dr. Doris Benbrook's team has developed a promising compound called OK1 that may be able to help HPV-infected cells from ever turning cancerous.
This grant gives us the opportunity to take that drug up to the next level and study it in clinical trials. Can we do the same thing in humans who are infected with the human papillomavirus? But also the grant allows us to study more about the mechanism of how this drug works, which could actually help us to improve its capability of preventing and reducing the side effects of cancer.
Between 150 and 200 cervix cancers every year in Oklahoma, and between 50 and 85 deaths in Oklahoma from cervix cancer. In 2012, unfortunately, we had 155 cervix cancers and 85 deaths. That's the highest it's ever been since I've been here. So we're not going the right direction. So we're hopeful that these two approaches, what's called primary prevention, which is vaccination, cervical cancer screening, which is pap smears and HPV testing of women who are 25 and above, will detect preneoplastic changes in the cervix, and then hopefully those patients then can be referred to our clinical trial eventually and reverse the process and allow women to eliminate the HPV from their systems.
So this is a continuing process where we're starting now in clinical trials with our lead compound, but we're also developing a whole pipeline of compounds that we believe will be better than this initial one. So as we encounter problems that might come up, things that often happen when you can get really exciting results in an experimental model, and then you go into humans and there's some major obstacle, something that you couldn't predict. Like a person gets a headache, and you wouldn't know that in the experimental model. So we are hoping that we can continue and grow with a whole line of researchers being trained underneath this new grant. We have the opportunity to hire and teach new researchers to continue this type of research on into the future.